Since we're here at Pyramid Peak Water Treatment Plant, let's talk to Ron Serio, Deputy Director of Plant Operations here. Ron, welcome. Thank you for joining me today. Can you walk us through how water is treated and cleaned here?
Absolutely. First, thank you for having me. Basically, the way water treatment works, it's a process of removing solids from the liquids. And here at Pyramid Peak, this is one of 3 surface water plants. The source of water for this plant is the Colorado River, and that water goes into the CAP canal to get here to the plant. When that water falls into the drainage basins as rain or melted snow, it runs across dirt, it runs into washes, it runs into rivers, and ultimately into the canal and arrives at the plant. So as that water's traveling, it picks up silt and dirt and debris that is in the water when it arrives at the plant. So our job is to get that out of there. The first step of the process is a screening process, and that takes out solid material that's about 1/4 inch or bigger, so it's like big stuff. And once that's removed, it goes into a flocculation process, and that is a process where we add a chemical to the water that's a food-grade chemical, and that chemical has a positive charge, and the particulates that are in the water will stick to that, and it'll become a bigger particle that's heavier. We call that floc. And when it's heavier, it's easier to settle it out. The next step is a sedimentation basin. When it gets to the sedimentation basin, the water slows down to a very slow velocity and it settles out. And then the solids are scraped off the bottom of that basin, and the cleaner water continues on through the process. That's the heart of the treatment process. That's where most of the solids are removed out of the water. And it looks very clean coming out of there, but there's one more step, and that's filtration. And filtration is where we have sand filters or carbon filters, and it's almost like a fish tank filter where there's a bed of sand and the water flows down through that sand, and that removes more particulates out of the water. The clean water comes out of the bottom of the filter, and then the water is very clean. The final stage is to disinfect the water, and we use chlorine or bleach to disinfect the water. And what that does is if there is any bacteria or any germs or anything that's not healthy for us, it'll kill those germs and make it safe to drink. Once the water is chlorinated, it goes into a reservoir where then it can be distributed to all of our customers. The important thing to know is that we have operators that work at this plant and all of our plants 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They're continuously monitoring that each process is doing the right thing. There's analyzers that verify that the processes are working the way they should, so that there is safe water coming out of the plant. These staff, they work on Christmas Day, they work every day, no matter if it's a holiday or not. So they provide a very important role for us.
Our citizens need water every day, right? So
They
you don't
do.
think about who's working to make sure that when I turn on my faucet on Christmas Day, water comes out. So
Yep, that's true.
So what goes into making sure that the treatment plant's always available?
As you can imagine, treatment plants have a lot of equipment. There's a lot of mechanical equipment, there's electrical equipment, there's analytical testing devices, there's computers that are specialized that control certain processes, and all of that stuff is very maintenance intensive. So again, we have a different important set of crew members that are our maintenance staff, and they're the ones that perform preventive maintenance, and they also repair things when they break. It's almost analogous to our cars. You know, if you do preventive maintenance on your car, it'll last longer. Things still may break along the way, but ultimately it's going to last a long time. If you don't change your oil, you don't do what you need to do, it's not going to last. So that's what our staff does. Another thing that's important, since these plants can't just be taken out of service, we have to provide water every day. They're designed with redundancies so that, and an example would be, say we have a bank of pumps that moves water from one process to the next. If we need 3 pumps, there will be 4 that are put in there, and they rotate operation. So that way we can take one plant down and do maintenance on it and keep the plant operating. And if one of those pumps breaks, it doesn't take the plant out of service. We are able to fix it with the plant still in service. And even if we maintain things, there's always things that break, and all this mechanical equipment has a lifespan. So what we do also is assess our equipment and see how how good of shape it's in, and then we make predictions about how much longer it's going to last. And then when systems need to be replaced or rehabilitated, we put those into a capital improvement project, and that's where we need to hire engineers and contractors. And typically these get to be pretty big projects, but there are things that have to be done in order to provide safe, reliable drinking water to all of our customers.
It's fascinating.
The next step is how do we get it to their faucets? Mr. John Henney, he and his team are responsible for getting the water out to our customers. So I'd like to welcome John to talk about how that happens.
All right, thank you so much, Ron.